Hey, thanks guys for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about how to focus on film like a master. And I use master loosely because am I a chronic masturbator? Yes. Am I a master at photography? No. But at least I'm going to be able to teach you guys to kind of how to focus by feel or focus blindly. So now if you haven't seen my last video on zone focusing, it's right up here, nailed it. It's one of my most popular videos thus far. Apparently there's a lot of simpletons like me that just couldn't understand the process, and I kind of lay it out for you. So please go check out that video because it doesn't make sense for you to go on to this next level of focusing if you don't understand the basics of that. All right, so go check that out first. No cheating. Trying to help you guys in stages because this is how I kind of learned myself. So who is this video for? This video is for two kinds of people. Someone who's shooting digital and kind of flirting with film, but is kind of daunted by the whole process because they've been heavily relying on autofocus. Trust me, I've been there. Or someone who's already shooting film and just kind of wants to sharpen those skills, because personally I feel if you're shooting film and you're still heavily relying on the prism or rangefinder patch, I feel you're no better than someone that's using autofocus, because let's be honest, someone can bump or you can drop your camera at a moment's notice and it can shift your rangefinder patch. I actually did that. I actually dropped my OM-1 and my focusing was all off, but I already took like 6 shots with it, and I had no idea because I didn't know how to kind of judge distance or anything. At the very least, with this process, you'll be able to kind of sharpen those skills quite a bit, and you'll be able to kind of not worry if something happens. So you can kind of still shoot even though there's some kind of misalignment. You're not freaking out. Your whole Italy trip isn't going to be wasted because you'll actually not need it. All right, so let's just get into it. So this is a 2-part series because there's just a lot to get into. But this video, we're gonna focus on distance scale. Distance scale. You have to learn how to judge distance. You just have to. Because if you don't know this aspect, so this video is the glue for everything. You have to know this. So I'm trying to stress distance scaling. You have to be able to judge distance. If you don't know how to do that, then anything else kind of renders meaningless. So for instance, let's say I've memorized every little millimeter on this lens, right? I can do it by my eyes closed. I just memorized everything. But what does that matter if I don't know distances outside of that to actually apply where my focus is? You know what I'm saying? So none of that actually matters because you have to know what 10 feet is. You have to know what 6 feet is. You have to know what 2.5 feet is, or meters, whatever. So how do you do this? It's kind of easy if you really think about it. You just literally have to go out and start judging distances. You just have to. And the easiest way to do that is through your camera. So you go and see something and you kind of judge its distance, you guess, and then you check through your camera. Because whenever you line up the rangefinder patch, or if you're on an SLR, if you line up the focus, then you can actually check on your lens to see what the distance is. It's very simple. So what I would recommend is start with in your living room or in your house, whatever, and just start judging distances. Oh, I think that's 6 feet. Let me see. Oh, that's 4 feet. Oh, let me see. Oh, let me see how far my TV is. I think it's around 15 feet. And then you check in your camera and you're like, oh shit, it's actually 10 feet. Or you go to another thing. Oh, how far is that wall? Oh, I think it's about 10 feet. And then you kind of line everything up. Oh shit, it's actually 6 feet. And you just keep doing that over and over and over. And then once you've kind of done it inside the house, then you start going out in public and you start judging how far people are. So this is what I've been doing for months and months and months. Like, no joke, if you were to see me by myself when I'm doing street photography, I look like a crazy person. I'm not even joking, because I'm constantly doing this. 5 feet, 7, 8 feet, 400. Let me see. No, that's. Well, I think they're here. If I shoot at f8, then maybe they'll still be in the zone focus. No, let me see. I literally look like a crazy person because I'm just looking at people. I'm kind of just like sizing them up. It's almost like, you know, in Fight Club, where they're sizing people up to see if they can kick their ass or not. I'm kind of doing the same, but I'm kind of judging their distance. I'm just like, I wonder how far that person is. I'm gonna say about 4 feet. And then I'll check kind of on the sly. I'll put my camera at 4 feet. And then I'm like, I go and check in my rangefinder patch. Fuck. Then I actually focus them. And I'm like, they're at 6 feet. I was way off. So that's basically it, the practice. You constantly have to start judging distances. Boom, boom, boom. And once you start getting better, do you know how happy you're gonna feel? You're just being like, oh, I think they're at 10 feet. Let me check it out. And then you focus them, and then you check your lens. Oh my gosh, they're at 10 feet. That's so awesome. So you start getting better and better and better. And that's pretty much it, to be honest. It sounds so simple, but it's so kind of hard in the beginning, but so key, because you're gonna need this as just you develop yourself as a photographer, or maybe you want to get into cinematography. And there's gonna be moments when you're doing video where you don't have a stand-in actor, or you don't have something to gauge how far distance is. Like, for instance, if you're shooting out of a moving car, like, you can't have someone, hey, stand there or whatever. No, you have to be able to tell, oh, if I'm shooting at f4, I have maybe 2 feet wiggle room and I need to set my distance at 15, 20 feet, or so on and so forth. Like, this stuff is so important. So you have to practice this. So the only real kind of cheat tip that I have for you, other than you're just gonna have to figure this out yourself, all the different distances, is I actually learned this from Eric Kim. Basically, you can tell your own height, the distance of that, if you were to fall down and know whether you're going to hit your head on a wall or whatever it is in front of you. I don't know, it's some kind of weird biological, psychological thing that's just kind of built into your brain, and it's actually true. So I'm about 6'2", so I roughly know how far 6'2" is if I were to just kind of face plant, and to see whether my head is going to hit something or if I'm going to hit another person. I don't know what it is, but it's actually true. So if you're 5'5" or something, you actually know that distance. If you were to be like, oh, if I were to just face plant and fall, I would know if I would hit that trash can, or I would hit that person, or I would hit that wall. Just for some weird reason, you just know that distance. And the only other real kind of cheat tip is, again, this is only applied to me, is I kind of know what 10 feet is, because that's how high a basketball rim is, 10 feet. So because I love sports and I played basketball a little bit, is I roughly know what 10 feet is. So again, this is my own kind of memory mnemonic. You're gonna have to figure out your own memory mnemonic on things, but it's very important that you just kind of practice and kind of find these other little cheat codes for yourself, because it's gonna be different from me as it is to you. All right, so this next part of the video, to be honest, I think it's actually more important than the first part you just watched, because I just feel the need, I have to kind of say this, because I think some people need a fire lit under their ass. So people don't know this about me unless you're part of my family or part of my kind of close friends. I'm a pretty chill guy, positive, all this kind of stuff, but there's actually a very serious side to me, which is I don't like to bullshit. Like, I like to put in work. I like to go hard at things. I think it's because I just grew up kind of poor and I had to kind of fight for everything that I ever had in my life. And I've never had a mentor. I've pretty much self-taught in everything that I've done. I had to teach myself how to make movies. I had to teach myself photography. And I think there are certain people that just need answers. They want that kind of quick fix. They don't want to put in the work to actually go out and do things and fail. I don't know what it is, insecurity or just worrying about social media bullshit. But sometimes, like what I talked about previously about distance scale, sometimes it just takes good old-fashioned work ethic. You know what I'm saying? You have to just go out there and put in the work. And that's simple as that. So these Sean Tuckers or whoever the hell you're looking up to, like, they don't have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? 50 years ago, there was no YouTube. There was none of this bullshit. They had to actually figure stuff out on their own. And that's exactly what I had to do with this camera. And I'm not even joking. 4 months into owning this, I thought I fucked up. I was like, fuck, like, I'm not quick enough. There's something not clicking. I spent all this money. I was lusting over this fucking camera for so long, and I have it, and I don't know how to operate it. And I was like, gosh, what is going on? And I was pissed off at myself for buying into the hype. And to be honest, all that was up here. It had nothing to do with this. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of figure things out on my own. I had to learn how to kind of focus by feel and all this. Nobody taught me this. I had to figure this stuff out on my own, and I had to just shoot. Keep shooting. And then eventually I got more comfortable and I formed certain ideas that worked for me, and I kind of just figured it out. But it took about 8 months of just labor. And I think some people aren't willing to put in that 8 months. And for me, it's bullshit. Because I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, who am I? Who am I to tell you what to do? Who are these photographers to tell you what to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? They're no better than you. They've just put in more work. That's all it is. They're not more talented than you. They've just shot more than you. Or whatever they are doing that you want to do, they've just done it more than you. That's it. Like, talent is fucking overrated. Hard work and work ethic is really where it's at. And kind of speaking on this point is like, I have friends who do kind of street critiques and all that, and I love it because they're helping and filling a void for people who want to, you know, get their work looked at, which is fine. And I love my friends for doing that. But I challenge the people, some of you guys out there, to stop doing that. To stop asking permission to shoot or wanting validation. Because who cares, number one. And number two, what can solve all of that is just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. Because all that stuff wrinkles out. Whether it's knowing better lighting, knowing better moments, composition, all that stuff gets wrinkled out the more you shoot. All right? So let me give you an analogy. So let's say this kid, he goes up to Kobe Bryant, obviously he passed away, a big Kobe Bryant fan, obviously. Goes up to LeBron James, and he's just like, hey, LeBron, can you give me some tips and let me know what I can work on? Or can you kind of study my game or kind of tell me what, you know, to do? And LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, they'd be like, okay, but how old are you? I'm 8. Like, what? You're 8 years old? Like, and you want me to dissect, like, kid, go fucking play basketball. Keep playing. Trust me, you'll get there. You know what I'm saying? So this is how I feel when it comes to people and their photography, or even my photography more so. Because remember, I've only picked up a camera 3.5, maybe 4 years ago. I've done a bunch of stuff prior, but actual photography, 3.5 to 4 years. So this is kind of a cool, healthy exercise, and I want you guys to kind of join in and actually comment down below. I want you to figure out what age you are in your photographic career. So for instance, I would be, let's just say 4. I'm 4 years old. Now, attach what a 4-year-old is doing. I don't even know, 4 years old, you're fucking off your mama's titty and you're kind of walking around playing, barely talking. Or let's say you're 8 years old and you're just learning how to ride a bike and all this. Like, come on, people. If you think about it, some of us, our photographic balls hasn't even dropped yet. And we're wanting permission to shoot photos and to see how good we are. Like, no, like that makes no sense. Maybe wait until you're 18 years old, learn how to drive in your photographic equivalent career. You know what I'm saying? So please comment down below, say how old you are, and kind of say, oh, I'm 7, which means I'm at this point in human years, because all this stuff kind of puts things in perspective for you to be like, oh wow, like what am I worried about? I'm still 9 years old. Unless you're old enough to drink in America, 21 years old, you shouldn't be worried about anything, because by that time you're an adult in your photographic career, so you should be able to have a feel of things. And then if things haven't clicked then, okay, maybe ask for some help. But right now, if you're 2 years old and you're asking me or one of my friends or whoever, street photographer or whatever, about critiquing your photos or needing answers from us, like, no, bro, like, just keep shooting. You're 2. I'm 4. I'm 2 years older than you. So why do you need my approval? Like, you know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. So I apologize for this tone. This is kind of how I usually am with my close friends and family, because sometimes people need like a verbal foot in their ass or just a fire lit underneath them to just stop bullshitting, go put in the work. That's it. All right, so woosah. All right, I'm back to just being chill. I just felt the need to say this because I think as my channel grows, I think people are thinking I know the answers to everything, and I don't. Because again, I think what it is for me is I'm not scared to fail. In fact, I actually need to fail because that's how I learn. Again, I'm self-taught. Like, I'm telling you, I look like a freaking idiot by myself when I'm shooting on the streets because I'm constantly like, all right, 15, 24, they're 10 feet, 16. Because I'm still learning. I want to expose by eye. I'm like 80% there on being able to expose by eye, so I don't need my light meter. I'm still judging distances. I'm still like, there's still so much stuff going on. But I'm getting better and better and better and better. And that's the most important thing, is who cares about views? Who cares about likes? Who cares about all that stuff? Just go and put in the work. And then that's when your fulfillment comes, is you're happy because, wow, everything clicked for this one moment. Yeah, sure, compositionally, it's not a great photo, but who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's special to you. And then let the years go by, years and years, and let your work kind of speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have way more keepers if you have shot 500,000 photos versus 10,000. You know what I'm saying? It's just sheer numbers. But anyways, thank you guys for this rant. I felt I needed to say that for some people. because I tell myself this all the time. For instance, with my YouTube channel, I'm just like, oh, it's not growing, it's not, and I have to just catch myself. You know what? Stop being a little bitch and just put in the work. And that's all it is sometimes. That's it. All right? So thank you guys for watching. I'm back down to my cool, chill J. All right, so as always, just be cool, be nice, be sexy.